So you're like a child who's wandered in the movie theater halfway through and you're wondering what's going on. This is Donny Cast on the 6th of July, 2022. I am your host, Walter, and the good lie and the greater good. And let's get into that news after the July 4th weekend. So here is a good picture representing Rosie the Riveter. And someone that we're going to talk about a little bit later. So to pull up the Wikipedia page, and Wikipedia is garbage, but I'm lazy, so who cares? Rosie the Riveter is an allegorical cultural icon in the United States who represents the women who worked in the factories and the shipyards during World War II, many of whom produced munitions and war supplies. These women sometimes took entirely new jobs, replacing the male workers who joined the military. Rosie the Riveter is used as a symbol of American feminism and women's economic advantage. Make no doubt about this. Rosie the Riveter is propaganda, and it is used in a form of good propaganda towards not just the national identity of the country, the United States, and other places where it's used, but also towards the idea of the potential contribution that women have towards culture. So let's jump into that segue as I clear out good old Rosie the Riveter and her propaganda, the need for women to join the war effort during World War II, which some people consider the last of the great evils that the world has seen, that has plagued mankind, at least in Western culture. So the big news of the weekend, and I don't want to touch on it very long, there was a shooting in Highland Park, Illinois. All I have to say about this is if you keep giving this shit attention, you will keep getting the same outcome. So if we treat these crimes with apathy and forget the perpetrator ever fucking existed, and we do this with extreme prejudice, it will stop permanently. If you stop giving the carrot, then the horse will stop following it. But we as a culture want this to keep happening because we keep fucking clicking on it after it occurs. So once again, the shooter, who will not be named by me, and I will not show fucking pictures of them, and any place that does is repugnant, because they know that the more that you continue to give these people fucking any type of fame, the more that you're going to just incentivize it to occur again. He was known by law enforcement before it happened. So I just say sarcastically that let's keep giving the state more and more power and expect a different outcome, as opposed to the opposite side of the spectrum, which is, how about I give myself more and more power so I can control my life and the outcome of my life? I don't know which one you would prefer, but I know which one I would prefer. So moving on from the shooting in Highland, Illinois, we have the shooting that took place in Uvalde that got a whole fucking metric fuck ton of attention, which led to the shooting in Highland Park. In this case, police officer missed chance to shoot Uvalde gunman by seeking Uvalde, I don't fucking care. Gunman by seeking permission. You've got to be fucking shitting me. So the incompetence of how this was handled in the first place, I have to say that, like, what police officers do you have left in any of these departments? So among the report's findings, this is in the article, a Uvalde, I don't give a fuck, you're not a real city, police officer armed with a rifle, probably the dark, scary AR-15 platform, spotted the suspected shooter before he entered the school and had him in gun sights. But he waited for permission from a supervisor, giving the suspect the chance to enter the school. So it actually says in here that he was like, "Can I shoot?" over the radio, and no one fucking responded. And then he turned around to a supervisor and said, "Hey, bro, can I fucking shoot this guy who's running into a fucking school with a fucking AR-15? And no one responded. So this stupid fuck, who we've decided to give the keys to the kingdom to do law enforcement and protect the fucking cows, was like, "Yo, I need permission to do this because, like, I cannot think for myself." This is the type of qualities that we are now looking for in our law enforcement. And I can tell you from experience that this is not the type of job that that you could do effectively waiting for permission, right? Neither is it a job that you can do wondering whether or not you will get fragged in the back end by politics. It is a job that you have to react and sometimes have bad outcomes because, you know, you're reacting and you have to make split-second decisions. And yes, there will be bad actors that take advantage of that. And yes, there will be people that you hire that to do the job that would do the bad things, but you are at least pointing them towards bad things instead of having them turn around and shoot up a school. So believe this or not, and I know this will blow fucking people's minds, the same people that are going into schools or parades and whatnot and shooting them up are probably the same fucking people that you want as your police officers, because at least at this point they are looking for the bad guy outwardly instead of turning it inward towards your culture. Surprise, fucking surprise. Go ahead and continue to disenfranchise people. They are going to look for ways to fucking lash out. So, and let's put it all the blame on the scary AR-15 platform, because you know it's better than dealing with your own shit yourself. Jordan Peterson, clean your fucking room, right? So let's see. And we could go down the line of unions and systems. But at the end of the day, you know, Uvalde and other places, you get the fucking police department that you deserve. I also have written down that, you know, if you want the type of police departments that you have, that police officers that chew tobacco and shoot bad guys without thinking about it, you know, as they're entering a school with little kids in it with a gun, may not be the same guys that you want marching in pride parades and fucking taking selfies. They may be two incompatible type of personalities. I know, blows your fucking mind, right? And I usually don't give a shit about opinions. So we have New York PD retiree says officers are fed up leaving in droves for greener pastures after woke policies. No fucking shit. But you know, again, I shouldn't have to explain that officers aren't firefighters. If the department they work for is on fire, they are going to get the fuck out of the building like everybody else, right? So why would anybody want to save the children in this country when you have departments that are fostering an environment that is essentially torching your culture? You know, like I'm not particularly what's the way to put this? I'm not very moralized right now about the direction of my country. But at least I know the difference between bad guy with gun going in school and the children in the school. You know, like I believe I could potentially do my job if it came to that. So again, Rhode Island doesn't give a shit about their culture at all. You know, and they get the type of culture that they deserve. And by the way, Rhode Island was the first of the states to leave Britain, or the British Empire, and they were the last ones to join the United States. And you go, well, dear sir, who is talking into my ear on the internet, what the fuck are you talking about with Rhode Island? Well, you know, as I showed you, good old Rosie the Riveter and this fine specimen of United States feminist propaganda next to her. This is a politician by the name of Tiara Mack that is a state senator in Rhode Island. I have the wrong story pulled up. It shows how functional I am today. So to not bury that lead, we have Tiara Mack here. She posted a TikTok, I believe it was, of her twerking as kind of a campaign ad. You know, vote for Tiara Mack, as she gets down on her head and then shakes her ass. I mean, this is the type of culture. She's 28. Her official district TikTok page on July posts a saucy clip of her shaking her booty while in a handstand on the beach. And hopefully you can pick it up on the lower right-hand corner if you haven't seen enough as it anyway. I don't have a lot to say about, like, you get the country you deserve. You get the government you deserve. And I keep saying that over and over again. You know, good old Rhode Island, first to leave, last to join. Fuck you. This is your culture. And you deserve it because you fucking voted for someone like this. And if you're a little curious about who good old Tiara Mack is, I shouldn't have to say that she's a Democrat. remembering that voting Republican is just putting a tampon in a bullet wound. She is an American politician, and I preface this again by saying Wikipedia is trash, but I'm naturally lazy. She's an American politician and Democratic member of the Rhode Island Senate. Again, laughing because she's a Democrat. Mack assumed the office on January 5th, 2021, having defeated the sitting Harold Metz in the Democratic primary. She's a fucking carpetbagger. Mack is the first openly twerk. As you can see, that someone's already edited this page since I was on it. So the first openly twerk queer black person elected to the Rhode Island Senate. Born in 1993, Tiara Mack was raised in Georgia and South Carolina. Mack's mother worked as a teacher. Fucking surprise there. And her family struggled financially. I highly fucking doubt it. In 2012, Mack moved to Providence to attend Brown University. Again, higher education in the United States. Well, all education in the United States is now garbage. She went to probably Brown, the Ivy League schools are all fucking ideologically corrupted at this point. She graduated from the school in 2016 with a Bachelor of Arts in Public Health. While attending Brown University, Mack played on the women's rugby union team, whatever, I don't fucking care. In 2020, Rhode Island Senate elections, Mack challenged incumbent state, whatever. We already talked about this. Metz had a pro-life record and was opposed to the LGBT movement. Mack's campaign proved effective at winning over younger, more socially liberal voters. Mack's defeated Metz, whatever. I don't care. The other thing is that I have pulled up about good old, Twerky McTwerkerson. This is from her actual District 6 page, why I'm running. It says, Tiara is an educator and activist raised in the South, north of Atlanta and Columbia, South Carolina. She moved to Providence to attend Brown, fell in love with the city, has no fucking clue culturally what Rhode Island is. And I'm not from Rhode Island, but first to leave, last to enter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is not the culture of Rhode Island at all. She started her journey in education, teaching sex ed in Providence schools as an undergraduate. Get the fuck out of here! Literally a groomer in your public school system in Rhode Island. But you get the government you deserve, Rhode Island. You can go fuck yourself. Tiara previously worked in Providence as a recruiter. Surprise, fucking surprise, indoctrinating students to have teachers that represent their backgrounds, experiences, and future selves. Because she would fucking know, being someone who lived her life in Rhode Island and had any investment in the culture of Rhode Island, instead of bending the culture of Rhode Island to serve her worldview and protecting the former culture of Rhode Island, which is first to leave, last to join. She was like, nah, man, I got you, fam. I know how I should recreate the culture of Rhode Island in my image of bullshit. She now works as a youth organizer, empowering young people to engage in local. Fuck you. Like, yeah, I want my kid to grow up to be like good Tara here. She's a board member of Women's Health, which I went and looked up. There's not a lot of information on this funding of this Women's Health and Education Fund, other than that it is obviously pushing abortion issues in Rhode Island. And, I also, this is the other interesting thing. She's part of the East Side Mount Hope YMCA. Remember, young man's something, who cares? Just young men. This is the type of young men do not have a masculine role model in the United States currently. And yet this is the type of feminine role model. Again, I show you the propaganda that the young men that are going to the YMCA are getting. Because fuck you, you get the government that you deserve. So this is what was going on. So backtracking to what my segue was, Orlando apologized for inflammatory 4th of July referencing hate, because you get the government you deserve. So who's ever running the Twitter page for Orlando decided it would be a good idea to, if I can find it, to go out there and talk about let's see, this is not the one that I wanted. When there is the city, when there is so much division, hate, and unrest, why on earth would you want to have a party celebrating any of it? The statement read, which invited local residents to the 4th of July show, which the city. So again, you have people that are running your Twitter account for the city of Orlando that do not see a culture that is worth saving. And we'll get down the line when we get to that here in a second about your personal investment in things. So to move on to another candidate, this is good old Jerone Davison. He's a former NFL running back. He's a pastor now. There wasn't a lot on his Wikipedia page to pull up, and I didn't really particularly care to look to go find out a lot about him, because he did an ad where he basically said, why do you need an AR-15 with extended magazines? And it's to shoot the Democrats in KKK hoods that are looking to harm you and your family. Hopefully you can see the ad in the lower right-hand corner. So I look at this political candidate, obviously a Republican, and I think to myself, well, I have a lot culturally in common with Mr. Davison, even though the color of our skin is not the same. I can definitely empathize with his desire to defend himself in the way that he sees, to defend himself and his family in the way that he sees fit. In this country, yes, I can get behind him and whatever cultural values he's probably trying to extend to his family, unlike Miss Tiara Mack and the pollution that she's trying to indoctrinate into the youth of Rhode Island. So let's see. Moving on from that, we have going on to more cultural pollution that's going on. So dickhead governor of California, Gavin Newsom, decides that he was going to run an ad campaign in Florida attacking the GOP, and fuckface Newsom, who just got caught vacationing in Montana, a state that Montana is a state that California put on a list that they are not allowed to do business with because they do not like the culture of Montana. But Gavin Newsom's like, no, I'm good. I'll just go up there and I'll go vacation because fuck you. Rules for me. Fuck you. So in his ad, Gavin Newsom had the lack of self-awareness to say freedom is under attack in your state to Florida. I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight or join us in California where we still believe in freedom. Get the fuck out of here. Like what functional reality do you live in where you could say that out loud? Because I ask what freedoms that I would get by moving to California. Is it the high taxes, the high crime, the 39th in rankings public school system that is going on in the fifth largest GDP, right? The housing crisis that's going on there, and the essentially non-existent Second Amendment in which to defend myself from the political tyranny and the rampant open air drug markets that you have in your cities in California. What freedoms would I actually get by moving there? Oh, I just get the freedom to have good weather all year round, but everything else I'm put over a barrel. Thank you. I think I'll stay in Florida, right? So to show you that these people in power are just they are in fucking fantasy land. So you have GOP Governor Glenn Youngkin expands political operations as 2024 speculation grows. So the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, who is delusional, has stopped taking his meds to think that he has a snowball's chance of one being the GOP nominee for president in 2024, but two, that he thinks he's got a snowball chance of winning the election. This motherfucker wouldn't even be able to carry his own state because the largest county in Virginia, Fairfax County, a suburb of Washington, D.C., is the most populous county. It's 13% of the population. They are roughly 69.9% Democrat voters. They fucked the elections in Virginia, like all areas, all blue areas like this in all states do. He was barely able to wrestle the state back from the previous governor that was running it into the ground with blue policies. And he only got in, I think, like 50 something percent to 48%. And he thinks he's got a snowball's chance of going up against DeSantis or Trump in an election against anybody else. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. And he's doing exploratory butt raping to see like if he's got that snowball's chance by having the political, or the, excuse me, the social access to be able to run a puff piece in the Washington Examiner newspaper, going like, well, how likely is it that anybody knows who I am and would give a fuck about my candidacy? I mean, the GOP field is limited to Donald Trump, and DeSantis. That's it. That's what you got. And here's Youngkin's like, well, I think I could do a good job. And I bring that up because when you think about what Gavin Newsom is doing, Gavin Newsom right now is likely the front runner for the DNC nomination in 2024. And he's delusional enough to think that the way he has run his state into the fucking ground, that he has a chance to win not just the nominee for the DNC, but the presidency, when everyone in this fucking country hates California. Leftists hate California. And you are delusional enough, Gavin Newsom, think that you got a chance in running, and you're a piece of shit. And then you have this guy who's not just running no one knows who Glenn Youngkin is, and he thinks he's got it. Just focus on not having your state go down the blue shitter. How about you not worry about not being able to win the presidency in 2024, you dumb fuck, who the only way that you could functionally work this way is because you have something that a regular person who's in touch with reality does not have, and that has the access to get a fucking puff piece put into a newspaper. Like, you would not make a good president, period, let alone a good presidential candidate. And someone needs to pull you aside, slap you in the face, and you go, just do your fucking job of running your fucking state, you fucking piece of shit. This is why the Republican Party is fucking broken, and they are not a current active. There's no good chance that the Republicans can actually help the country when they have idiots like this that think that they have a snowball's chance of fucking doing anything else. So in the article, it says Governor Youngkin showed the country what the future of the Republican Party can be. Some douchebag said Youngkin is the fresh new voice of the party and the country needs. No, it's not. I could tell you right now, no, it's not. You know, the party needs someone that will stand up and actually fucking do something about the rise of fucking Marxism that is going on in the country. This far woke wing form of ideological cancer. I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't need a new fresh voice. I need someone with a fucking spine. And I think I said about all I need to say on this. I've already overtalked my notes, so I'll move on to the next one. So the other bullshit factory. This is the country that we get. This is we deserve the government that we get. So there's a slur to faces campaign banner of gay candidate in Kansas City. I don't fucking care. The guy's name is Douchebag Horn. I think it's Justice Horn. You can't make this shit up. Someone named their kid fucking Justice Horn, and then he turned out to be fucking, LGBT and a Democrat. You get the fuck out of here. So this moron in fucking Kansas City put up a campaign banner with the LGBT flag, and you can see in the corner that it's got the trans and the black and the brown and the rainbow nonsense. And then someone went and put fag. They spray painted fag on the side. And all I have to say is bullshit. And even if it's not bullshit, you're a piece of shit because you use this as some way to get more political publicity towards your fucking shitty campaign. And your whole platform is I'm gay, and somebody vandalized my sign. Fuck you, go twerk on a beach, you piece of shit. Like I it doesn't matter if some douchebag in this city and spray painted your sign. Shut the fuck up and talk about your politics and how you're going to actually solve problems like indoctrination of children in schools. You fucking piece of shit. And the fact that you actually had the social clout to be able to say, my hair's on fire, please come take a fucking picture of this and put it in a fucking newspaper, shows that you and I are culturally not the same. Because I have other shit to worry about than someone spray painting my fucking LGBT fucking sign. Fuck you so much. That we get the country we fucking deserve, and we've been asleep at the wheel at this point. So let's see. Oh yeah, the country that we deserve. So another carpetbagger to Wyoming, Liz Cheney. She says that the committee, the DOJ, could each make Trump criminal referrals in connection to January 6th. And again, she puts in there possible charges, not that they are going to, or actually being able to explain how they would charge the person in Trump or anybody else. No. There's possible charges that could come about from your bullshit sham committee. And they write in this this article that the next committee hearing has not been announced. And I can tell you why it hasn't been announced. It's because this whole thing has been bullshit. It hasn't been getting any publicity. No one gives a shit about it, and you look like fucking fools. So, and I wrote this down in my notes. I said, "Oh, please fucking charge Trump. Please fucking charge Trump." And you might be saying, "Well, why? Why would you want?" And I just go, "Let the gloves come off. Let's just stop pretending, right?" Because at this point, like the other side, the right, needs to stop being such cowards and realize that they are not playing the same game as the Democrats are. They need to start doing things like, I don't know, charging a Hillary Clinton for demonstrably criminal shit that she did, instead of going, well, this looks like it's a political witch hunt. No shit, motherfucker. They're going to do it to you. And right now, all you're playing is gay political chicken with each other because you're both fucking cowards. Get it over with. Let's get it on. Let's understand the rules of the game, and we can maybe reset the chessboard, and then we can start having a real fucking functioning government at a certain point, instead of fucking like bullshit games for fucking clicks on Twitter. You pieces of shit. Fuck you. Fuck you so much. So, from one cancer to another, when we're going to talk about like bullshit COVID, a variant BA.2.7, fuck you. Anyway, I have my own personal shit about COVID, but this stupid fucking article where it's talking about like, if you don't know that the spike protein is toxic, it's probably the worst part of the actual virus is this spike protein that's in there. It's the little things that stick out on the outside of the virus that dock with a cell and allow the virus to get in and start hijacking your shit for its own nefarious deeds. Very similar to how the certain ideological parties in this country have gone into our public institution and are brainwashing our children. You could call it grooming again. So anyways, doesn't mean anything. It says there's unusual 9 mutations on the spike protein. This may be a good thing. It may be a bad thing, depending on the toxicity behind it. But in general, viruses need to evolve to be more contagious. That's the gain of function you've been hearing, and less harmful to the host. Otherwise, it becomes less efficient and can't do virus things. So it needs to stop making you more sick in order, as a trade-off to being able to get in and hijack your cells faster. So again, this article doesn't actually talk about if this is a mutation that is going to make the virus harder on us, which is unlikely because it usually doesn't go in that direction. It goes in the direction of being able to get into your system easier, but you have an easier time fighting it off, because the less sick you are, the more likely you are to pass it on to somebody else. And that's the name of the game for the virus, is staying alive. Rules of the game. So sticking with medicine and the state and how fucking functionally retarded government is and why we should not give it more power, we have this Daily Dart article talking about a father of a school in Washington. It's Sonoma, Washington, found out that it's perfectly legal for the schools to treat his teenager without consulting the parents based on Washington law. So basically, the school gave his kids prescription antidepressants, as it points out. And he's like, what the fuck? And I will say, you're like, well, I don't like this. I don't like it either. But I have to actually explain why this is a lot more worrisome than you can think about. Because again, this is the idea of a shared culture. The need to have some type of trust in our communities is eroded when agents of the state, in this case, the schools, can decide what is the shared culture that we have, or more importantly, what is the shared culture that we should have, right? I understand the good idea fairy here, i.e., if children don't know where to go to get help because what's going on in the family, or they're embarrassed and they have someone that they trust at the school. Again, there's other cultural, societal issues that we can discuss because some of these are important, right? But again, the state dismantling the need for the parent is really fucking bad. And I shouldn't have to point this out, that when you can effectively remove the parent from a situation, grow children in petri dishes, pump them out, throw them in schools, and just have the state act as their fucking parent. Like, why do we have agency when it comes to raising our children and the risk that comes about for our children to have a better life than we did, right? Because the reality of it is the parent, and this goes to if you're a dumbass leftist or you're a dumbass right winger, right? The parent should be doing the opposite. The parent should be raising their children so the children understand to dismantle the need for the state by taking on more self-responsibility, because I don't need other people telling me how to wipe my ass. I'm pretty sure I should be the one in control of the wiping of my butthole. So moving on, I probably should have come up with a better analogy than that, but I didn't write it down. And, notes are just notes. They're not the actual show. So the U.S. keeps losing wars because no one listens. I don't know why this is here. This is not what I want to talk about at this point. Again, showing how great I'm feeling today. We actually have a Boris Johnson UK story. We'll come back to this one at the end. That's where I had it. So defiant Boris Johnson rejects calls to step down, vows to keep going. So if you don't know what's going on, Boris Johnson has been an absolute failure as Prime Minister of the UK. Their Liberal Party is further left than our Democrats are, believe that or not. They're just basically, they're not even communists. They're like Trotskyites or something like that. I don't even fucking know. And their Labor Party is ridiculously hated. Probably was at least more hated than our Democrats are in this country at this point. And Boris Johnson took over, and he was kind of billed as the British Trump, and he's been the British cuck. And now his party is they did a no confidence vote. He squeaked through and survived. Now he's having defectors that are resigning because he's a fucking piece of shit. And Boris Johnson is like, I like this power. I'm not going to resign. No, it doesn't matter what you say to me. I'm not going to resign because, again, in the UK politics are basically you pick the party, you don't pick the leader. You pick the party picks the leader. Now the party is saying that they don't like Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson says he likes being prime minister, so fuck you. And again, if you're wondering why we should have smaller states, it's because, why would anybody want to give up power once they get it? So moving on from that, talking about, I think the only thing I really had in my notes is Johnson sucked as prime minister, and he should realize that he sucked and he should move on. But of course, you get the worldview that you construct for yourself, and of course, Boris Johnson thinks he's the right man for the job because he's the guy who's got the job. Mysterious Georgia Guidestones that no one knows who's actually designed them, brought down after heavy damage from explosion. No. I will just say that there was a terrorist attack on these Georgia Guidestones. If you're wondering what the Georgia Guidestones are, well, New World Order comes to mind. They had these things written on the Guidestones. There's 10 things. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Eugenics. Unite humanity with a living new language, share culture, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court, globo homo, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Yes. But you're not going to get that with a tyrannical state like this. Balance personal rights with social duties. No, fuck you. Benjamin Franklin, if you give up a certain amount of your freedom to gain security, you will have neither and you will deserve neither. Fuck you. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. What the fuck does that mean? It means nothing. You basically have number 9 being toilet paper. Be not a cancer on earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Fuck off. Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't fucking care. Anyway, these got blown up last night, and I heard rumors that they just got taken down because they were a hazard at this point. No one knows who put them there. It's bullshit, but I will say it's kind of a big landmark in the culture war because rule of law. And I wrote down some pretentious quote by Nietzsche that I won't talk about. But basically, if you are not playing by the same rules, you're not playing the same game. And the left wing has been acting with basic impunity when it comes to cultural vandalism and terrorism in the country. And you expect that the other side playing the game is going to sit there and just allow it to occur. So the abyss does stare back. New World Order. So to finish, if you were wondering, I have the article up already. I have this article that I read. It's from the Daily Beast. They're kind of a left-wing tabloid paper, but it says the U.S. keeps losing wars because nobody listens to spooks. And I read it, and it's not a very good article. But the reason why I wanted to end the day with it is because of the fact that the main gist of this article is the guys on top want to validate their worldview, and they force the intel from the bottom, the people that are on the ground, to tell them the answer that they want to hear. That's the main gist of this article. All these intelligence failures are there are people on the ground that know better. They write their reports up, they send it up on higher, and the people up on high go, nah, that's not the way it is because I know better because I'm in power. That's the gist of this article. And if you need a dumbass like me on the internet reading a poorly constructed article to tell you that that's how it works, well, I've got some other propaganda to tell you. It involves your politicians raising your children because they know better about sex education than you do. So anyway, fuck it. I don't have anything else to say.